Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. Thanks for joining us today. I've got a special guest. This is uncharted waters here. Nate from AIM, account manager. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, man.
Thanks for having me, Dustin. Excited to be here all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska. That's a first of all. But secondly, I've never had four people from one company be on this podcast before, and you're the fourth. I've talked to Sarah back in the day, talked to Charlie, Mark Goko, and now you're the fourth. So,
We just can't stay away. We just can't stay away, Dustin.
well, I appreciate your guys' support through the years while I tune this up, and you guys have been a big fan of Affy Stash as well. So happy to have you on and nerd out about our topic of the day, which is content creators in the affiliate program. And before we get into it, let's tell the audience a little bit about you, Nate.
Yeah. So, like you said, my name is Nate. I've been at All Inclusive Marketing or AIM for about 4 years now. Come from not the affiliate background world, actually. Before AIM, I was a recruiter at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. Go Huskers. I said I'm a proud alumni. Also was a buyer at an e-commerce company too. And always have been kind of in that role of building relationships, building strategies, like really honing in on what can we do together? And that kind of took me to AIM. And it's been quite an adventure, honestly. I've been able to work on every kind of account you can imagine. There's a reason that our team is called Team Kitchen Sink because we're everything under the kitchen sink, I was saying. So I've did everything from large outdoor retail spaces to health and beauty to travel to even jewelry that you make to remember your lost loved ones. So always been there. And yeah, recently in the past couple of years, content creation has really just taken a big stride into affiliate marketing. So been able to kind of jump on that trend and be able to really incorporate that into our affiliate program.
All right. Well, great diversification. That's going to help you out in your career. You can work anywhere if you're on the B2B space, if you're D2C, if you're B2C. It sounds like your portfolio is mixed up, and that's a good thing for the future of your career. So you're working at AIM, you're an account manager, and today we're talking about content creators and how they mix into the affiliate world. And there's mixed theories with this. Some people like to keep church and state separated, influencers over here, affiliates over here. Let's work on strictly sponsored budget over here and strictly commission-based performance sales over here. But you're in the mix. You're mixing these two worlds up over at AIM.
I am. I'm taking it. I think the saying is bull by the horns, and we're getting content creators into affiliate programs. It's been and I think it's one of the things where it's a relationship that you can really put them together. And like you said, like that separation sometimes does happen, but especially when you're looking at creating a full marketing strategy, if you already have an affiliate program, look at that content creator and be like, what can we do to help emphasize the story that other social marketing team maybe is doing in-house? And that's something we've been able to really work with brands, build that relationship with them and get to know what are your needs. So if we're going to bring a content creator in or content creators, what is the story? What is the objective that we want them to really target? And that's, I think, one of the best things is that we can also tailor content creators to really be in different parts of the funnel based on what the brand is wanting to accomplish at the end of the day.
Excellent. All right. So let's start off with our niches, our verticals. Do you see content creators in all spaces, including B2B?
Absolutely. I think whenever you're thinking, especially like of a B2B brand, you're like, oh, like it's not that fun, flashy trip to Europe or that new health and beauty line. But think about like taxes, like software to your taxes. How can you really make that fun or make it engaging for that user to stay longer than 3 seconds? We take a look at last tax season. Who was the head of one of the biggest campaigns online? Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary. And content creators pay their taxes. Everyone of us have to pay our taxes. And so even when you're looking at a brand and you're like, my vertical doesn't seem like the flashy thing that we can put out for a content creator to work with. If you still have a service that, again, that everyone is going to need, you can use that creator to kind of give that story and to fulfill what you're trying to, at the end of the day, that objective is. So really asking your brand, are we looking for leads? Are we looking for that content creator to maybe a little bit lower down the funnel and work on the conversion? So we're going to, maybe our marketing team and our social media strategy is going to be the introducer. but we want the affiliate content creators to work more on that conversion at the very end.
Okay.
So again, knowing what your brand really wants is going to be key of wanting to know, can we bring a content creator into the ecosystem of our marketing funnel?
Okay. Gotcha. And that can be a tough conversation.
Mhm.
Influencers say, hey, we need you to open this conversation so that these other guys can close and get that
Mhm.
commission. So, what is your guys' story point when you're trying to convince these affiliates to be that opener?
Whenever they're the opener, I always like to see what is it that we can really accomplish together. So again, what is that objective? They're going to be at the very top of funnel, and we're looking at price point, or can we afford, or is it going to be cost effective to bring them into an affiliate type of model?
Okay.
So you have to have this conversation with the brand. So they're so high up, the conversion is going to happen much later, but we still want to make sure that we're using them and using their reach. So maybe playing around with the CPAs, playing around with maybe a hybrid type of model is sometimes we have to be very transparent with a brand. If you are just using the content creator to be that introducer at the very top, well, the conversions will happen later. So let's
Yeah.
make sure that we're still compensating them for their work. And again, maybe that's again, hopefully by that point, you have a strong relationship with your brand where you can say, maybe the CPA is not going to be the most ideal situation. Maybe it is putting a little bit of a budget and a flat fee to help get the message across and the objective we're trying to reach together.
Okay. Gotcha. Let's take a step back and go back to the beginning of, hey, you have a new client that just came on board, and they came on board with AIM because you guys have this great situation where you're mixing the influencer and affiliate world together.
Mhm.
How do you get them to sign off on maybe doing some kind of exploratory budget about influencers that need this sponsorship?
Yeah. So whenever a brand is wanting to experiment or test it out, because at the end of the day, they want to see results.
Sure.
They really want to see, is this worth the money? I always just kind of say, well, what can we do to track? Is it going to be just the affiliate tracking link, which is kind of like our bread and butter affiliate 101? But a lot of things are also changing these days. Everything from coupon tracking to click list tracking in the platforms. And the platforms are also changing the way that we're measuring our content creators too. I know that especially if you have the budget, there are a lot more tools you can use, and especially for how to measure. There's like a new term that's being thrown around in the affiliate world called the social media value. And this social media value takes a deeper look into kind of the metrics that we don't see on the affiliate side, where it's impressions, the reach. Well, how far are things that we can't see? Because we're always looking at like the click and the conversion. So these values are now, and these tools are coming from being able to look past that and what the influencers really, and what is their actual value. And so when a brand is saying, hey, we want to test this out, it's again, you have to know what the objective is. Is it the top of funnel? Is it the conversion? And that's we get to really measure out what is going to work out. And then from there, picking out, can we measure it, or do we need to maybe get some assistance from another tool that can help us create that value behind that content creator?
All right. And when you're talking about measurements, if you're working in the influencer space, you're looking at a non-sales metric a lot of the
Mhm.
time, and
Mhm.
you can do that with an impact or any inflection, for example, is great with this. Like, we track the non-sale and the sale itself, and we're giving credit where credit is due to the right partner, right? How are you guys setting that up and the logic of the sales cycle?
So with the sales cycle, again, if we're able to track it with the affiliate link and kind of that traditional affiliate tracking, that's great. A
Yeah.
lot of times it's a coupon code that does click this tracking. And sometimes it's also getting just that additional data, either from a creator or from tools that can really measure behind it and measure those things that we don't see on face value. Because I can go to anyone's TikTok and say, oh, this video got 1 million views. Or yeah, that's great. But did the 1 million views convert to anything? There's some times where we may not actually know the full value of what that creator is providing because they are just so high in that funnel. And that's something we sometimes have to educate a brand with and a client when they're saying, oh, how come this video has so many hits, but they're not converting it? It's well, because of the way that algorithms work, the way that all the clicks are tracked. Sometimes we also just can't measure it. And but we know that we're getting the word out there, and maybe this creator is going to be more of an exposure opportunity for us to do. And I think that's something that, again, when you work with your brand and you're trying to figure out, is this the right move for you have to know what that objective is as well.
Okay, gotcha. And going back into the asking the clients for the budget, have you guys
Mhm.
found a good, like, what's a good tip of where do we talk to the brand about this? Is this in the sales
Mhm.
cycle? Do we like set the expectations early they sign? Or do we wait until they close and then ask them politely once you get the recruitment started? How does that work?
I always say the earlier the better.
Earlier the better.
Really, yeah, the earlier the better. A lot of times, because if you don't know what you're going to get into, you don't want to like set expectations. We're going to get all these influencers if it's not really a brand that is even talking about themselves. And that's something I always say, especially in the sales cycle. If a brand is wanting to talk and bring influencers into their affiliate strategy, one, and we do this during our audit too, is that brand even talking about themselves online? If the brand is not talking about themselves yet, and there's no presence yet, and you're expecting these content creators to come in and do all the work for you, it's a little hard for them sometimes to piggyback off of nothing. And so that's where we have to kind of get that expectation right off the bat of saying, yes, we can bring in creators, but the lift that you're wanting is probably not going to happen just yet. And maybe it'll be too soon. Let's build the program a little bit more, and maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year, let's reevaluate if it's the right time now to bring in those creators. And again, that's where that budget question comes into of, okay, you have X amount of budget. Great. We can get a lot of creators or maybe sometimes just a few creators, depending again, where you're wanting to put them in the funnel, what that messaging is you want them to have at the end of the day. But yeah, the sooner the better, because I would feel really bad if I got an account and the expectation was, hey, we're going to get all these creators. And I kind of look at it and I'm like, "Ooh, this one's a tough one. We're probably not going to be able to get and meet the expectation of that client." So highly recommend do it during that sales cycle because
Okay.
it may not be a good fit too as well.
Yeah, I hear you. And when you're having the affiliates or the influencers and talking them into this category, oftentimes one of those topics that comes up is usage rights of the
Mhm.
UGC, that user generated content that they're creating and then repurposing it for your internal marketing
Yes.
standpoints. And oftentimes the creators are going to know enough to know to charge a little bit more to make that UGC.
Mhm.
How does that conversation go normally for you guys?
For us, it actually has come up quite a bit. Okay. And so we have to have a conversation with the brand as well. And I think it comes down to that relationship again. We have to know what is the objective you're wanting to use for the creator. Is it you wanting to use their content for UGC? Are you using it for exposure? Are you using it for that conversion? If UGC is part of that conversation, we have to be transparent as much as we can to that creator as well, because that would be a pretty bad situation if the brand loves a piece of content and just uses it without the permission of that creator. And luckily, it's never happened to me. Never happened to me. We always do get it in writing. Hey, we really like this. Can we maybe do a one-off deal? And it does happen actually quite often when a good piece of content starts to make itself out. Now they can maybe sometimes share it onto like their social media channels, but yeah, like fully doing it, making it a sponsored post, big no.
Yeah.
You definitely have to make sure you have that conversation with the creator. But before you even get to that, hopefully you have that relationship. That's something that I worked really hard with our team is if we're going to have creators in there, we have to know the ins and outs of what the brand is going to do because we're building a relationship with them. We're building a relationship with these creators. And these creators at the end of the day it's a person at the other end of the line, not a loyalty site. It's a person that's making content to talk to other people. So that relationship has to be pretty solid to make it fruitful.
Yeah. And there's a difference in school of thought on this as well. I've been with brands that say, hey, we want this UGC and we want to repurpose it,
Mhm.
purposely go out and recruit these partners that are going to allow us to do this and give us the rights to do it. And then I've been with folks that are like, just get us some performance based. And if we like the video, we'll ask them later. There's a mixed strategy there. Like, which way do you guys usually like to go?
I This is my personal opinion. I really like when we're helping basically elevate the story that's being told by the brand, where we have creators that are just building this great content to kind of tell an additional more story to what the brand is trying to build. Like I have like an example I have is we managed a health and beauty brand. And the health and beauty brand, we quickly start realizing, hey, when we're working on with these creators, we want the KPI we're using is conversions. We want the sales. So maybe they're a little bit lower down the funnel. And so we then started utilizing these creators during specific times of the year, so sales times. And one of our creators, her name was Rachel Hale. She was on season 12 of American Idol. Go check her out. She's in Nashville. She's a great songwriter. But she was one where we were able to really we had a very strong relationship, and her content was starting to get picked up and was converting really well. And so the brand was like, yes, it's supplementing the messaging we're trying to sell of this is a new product, or hey, this is a great time to stock up. And they were able to really just use her content and take it as a one-off, and you do that UGC lower. And so again, but that came from the relationship that we had with her, where she was able to really just capitalize on how to make content and when were the peak times that she needed to talk to her audience about, hey, this is the time to buy.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Let's talk about targeting. When you get a brand, and yeah, they're good with some budget exploratory, and what are the targets that you're going off? Is this micro? Is this macro? Is this mega? Who are the targets you're going after?
It can honestly be anybody at some point. The reason I said it is because every content creator in the funnel is going to have a different messaging. If you're at the very top, if you're in the middle, if you're that converter, again, it's going to change even the size of creator you're going to work with. And I think that's really what makes it so fun, is you get to work with the different size of creators that are going to change the budget as well. Like I said, I worked on a travel brand, and the travel brand, again, their KPIs was we want to get eyes to our website. We're really big in other parts of the world, but the US is just not we just haven't cracked that code yet. And so that was our objective. We're like, we need to find creators that have a good presence in the US, that have also an engaged audience. So that meant that like maybe the mega creator, not going to be the best converter. And so we did a lot of interviewing. We did a lot of recruitment to find the right people that are like, hey, what fits our campaign brief? And that's also going to get eyes to the site. And it was really just honing in. And like two of those creators that were on that trip, Justin Corbro, who's a dancer out of LA, and Nabila, who manages Dose of Travel. These two creators they were just two of the 13 we took to Europe. And the reason that we picked creators like them was because their presence in the US was so strong, and their audience just really engaged with all that content. And so after everything wrapped up, we were able to say, hey, like this creator, all their jobs is to get that top of funnel exposure over to the website. And at the end of that campaign, we were able to say, out of our 13 creators, about a month after everything wrapped up, we were able to say, hey, brand, we were able to produce 3.4 million views via the content of all of our creators together. Now we're passing the baton to you. So we got them to decide, we've got them to engage with you, and now your other channels are going to maybe do the conversion too. So, but the size of the creator really for Nabila and Justin, again, wasn't in the millions. They would say they're pretty like mid in the hundreds of thousands, but it was, again, who are they speaking to? And does their audience really engage with the content is it going to resonate with them at the end of the day? Know what your message is, and then that really can influence the size of your creator that you want to work with.
Okay. Gotcha. You mentioned metrics like engagement rate there. And I'm in the scope of, for Inflection, when I'm recruiting for brands that are working on a performance basis, I'm looking for brands or for influencers that have 10,000 to 50,000 followers on one channel and have at least a 2% engagement rate. I find that this like really niche circle will work on a performance basis, make good content.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I have to do a little bit of training with them sometimes because maybe they're not in tune with affiliate marketing yet. But what are those metrics that you're looking at in terms of like when you're making these target lists?
I'm looking at reach. So again, what is the demographic? Again, I'm taking the brief that the brand has given me. So what do you want at the end of the day? Is it a US base? Is it a Europe base? Is it Australia? And then again, what is your demographic you're kind of looking for? So usually that comes from, I have to ask the creator to share a little bit more about themselves and about their platforms. And then from there it goes, yes, looking at how many views are on a video. What are their impressions? If you can share that information with us, what are the engagement rates? Because it's great that you have a video that has 1 million views, but if no one's really engaging with it, is it really good? And so sometimes that's where I get to have to kind of educate also our brand too. It's like, yeah, this is a great, they have a lot of views, but our target is to work on conversions. This is not going to be a converting partner. But if we get someone a little bit smaller that maybe is more niche, maybe is their audience is just every video, every post they're making, the audience is asking for more. You see them in the comment section. We're seeing that engagement that you said, that 2.5, I think is what you said. If that's a great metric to have. And so asking what should our metric be? And a lot of times the brand will kind of give us a range of what they're looking for. And that can help us decide, is this creator a good fit for our program or not?
Okay. Excellent. Great call on that. One more thought on this process. When you are working with these micro and macro influencers, oftentimes I've found that they don't know what they're doing with affiliate marketing. They're not familiar with this. Either they've had sponsorships in the past or they haven't figured out how to monetize their following. And it's a great opportunity for you to jump in, earn some good merit with these partners and train them a little bit and help them make some scratch with their following. What are some of those tactics that you're utilizing to help train these young creators?
So with the creator, it's funny because some of the creators I work with are not that young. They kind of vary in age, which also mean if we have some a boomer generation who's also a content creator, you got to educate them on the platform sometimes. And so at least for us, what we're using is we have to figure out like what is maybe the same question we're getting over and over again.
Okay.
And that kind of helps us then create. What we sometimes will do is we'll create like an infographic, or we'll create something that, like, as we're doing our recruitment process, if we get somebody who is really excited to do it, but maybe they're like, I'm not familiar with CJ or Impact. And so we kind of have to walk them through those steps. So it is a little bit of hand holding, and creators usually you take a little bit more hand holding as well. But we've been able, and what we do is we create the infographic, a one pager that we give to the creator as we're going through that onboarding process, to then get them to sign up a little bit quicker, give them that full transparency. And a lot of times that's what you need when you're working with a creator, is you got to build that relationship from start. And part of that is being transparent of, these are the steps we got to take to get you into the network, how to pull a link. Compliance is another big one. Like you said, some people, they've worked on a sponsored, but they've never worked an affiliate. And so we have to do a little bit of educating on what FTC guidelines do you need to follow for your post. Especially that, I will say, a lot of times that first or second post, usually there's something that we're emailing about, hey, great post, great content, not compliant. We need to have the data reputable. But at that point, we've had a couple conversations. It's not like I'm coming in as like big brother. And I build a relationship with I try to build a relationship with the creator. And so it's, oh, sorry, I missed that one. And they get it fixed up right away. So
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have the opportunity, you have the resources to make something like training material or a one pager from your agency or brand, it's good to just have it on hand and kind of have it on the ready to go with your creators.
I want that infographic. I want to share that with the audience, like what an example you guys are giving out there. That would be incredibly helpful for those folks out there. It's something I've never utilized. It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Love that concept. And one of those things that I often have to do is, you mentioned the fraud aspect of it, but I would take fraud, or not necessarily, let's not call it fraud. I'm going to take a step back. Let's take not in compliance, right? I would take non in compliance over no call to action any day. Like, it is weird to me sometimes that I have to tell people, hey, this video needs some kind of call to action. You can't just talk about the company and then not tell people what to do. It's just not going to convert for you. I want you to make money. Let's do this now and make that change. What are you telling people to make that call to action happen?
I am pretty open with them of, hey, and again, what is the objective? If it's that conversion, like, I'm pushing that CPA and that conversation, I'm like, yeah, like, this is the AOV, this is what you're going to get. And I'm giving that. And so I'm always saying the goal is for you to work with your community to bring that call to action, and reminding them that process of, this is what, at the end of the day, your video should be talking about the brand, should be giving your perspective. But again, yeah, that call to action, what is it that we want to do? And especially when you're working with the brand, again, know that objective, have that relationship with your brand. So, this, hey, creator, this is what I want you, everything that you're posting, great. Love your authentic point of view.
Yeah.
But the goal always has to be, get the lead, get the sale, get the impression, whatever it is. And I think that's something that it comes with that relationship you have with it. And I think that once you have that, it's really fun to see how they kind of mix it into their content. Like one of my favorite creators I work with is a dog. Love this dog. She's the cutest thing ever. And she is in one of the programs I manage that's a trucking parts retailer. And but she has a very good like story. She has always a call to her action. She's now the time to buy. And here's my coupon codes. There's always something. And even not only that, but this dog and her parents, they know the trucking industry way better than me. So they know when they should be posting and talking about things like safety checks, or when, because there are times that I didn't know this. There are times that truckers can get pulled over, and if their truck doesn't meet a certain standard, they can get pulled off the road. So they use, again, that knowledge and that niche information that I don't know to share that message out. And then they're saying, but again, they're using that as that call to action. They know that, hey, I'm going to be making commissions. So I'm going to make sure that I'm telling people now is the time to buy. And it's through a dog. It's through a dog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, amazing that a dog can even talk. You're doing great work here, Nate. And then secondly, you're teaching them call to actions. Incredible. Good job there,
I will
man.
say it's a tough day in the office when I have to sit and watch some dog videos. I'll tell you that.
Dude, so true. All right, as we wrap up, one last note on that. One of the strategies I like to do with influencers that might not be in that affiliate space yet is my big tool that I suggest to them is ManyChat. I'm always preaching that, hey, your call to action is have somebody comment this secret word that automates a direct message to that person that comments in the section. ManyChat is an incredible $10 tool that every influencer out there should be utilizing. Are you suggesting any tools out there for those influencers?
I haven't had that much of experience with tools like that. I mean, now you sign me up. Send me the link right after.
Got it.
Yeah, I would love to send that over. No, as regards to like some of those tools of like how to get that call to action, I would say I think that's something that we're still learning and growing with. I think especially as the creator is just changing the way that they're seen on platforms and other getting picked up by Google. Those types of tools I think are going to be really important to have like at the ready to have. And I'm excited to see them. I think that's like the fun part about this is affiliate and even with content creators is it's always changing. One day we have what's happening now, and then the next day Google changes how algorithms are picked up in SEO, and all of a sudden creators are now, I mean, some of my creators are now above the fold first page search reviews off of their SEO. So now I need that tool to continue to get them a little bit, get that ranking up high.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Our time's up here, Nate. Thanks so much for stopping by and coming to hang out and nerd out about influencers and mixing the world of affiliate marketing. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Absolutely. Justin, was fun. Let me know. I mean, if you ever, especially if you're a brand, check out All Inclusive Marketing. We'll give you an audit. We'll tell you it's the right fit. But yeah, always a pleasure to see you.
How do people get a hold of you, Nate?
You can email me at nate.silk, S as in Sam, IELK at All Inclusive Marketing. You can also check out our TikTok and Instagram. I do not have that off the ready, but yeah, just give me an email, nate.silk at All Inclusive Marketing, and we can go from there.
All right. We'll put it in the comments section or add it to the LinkedIn article here. All right. That's it for us. Thanks for joining us, folks. Keep on recruiting, and we'll see you out there.